Hello, everybody. A lot of pain still. Excuse me for a moment. Getting down to the nitty gritty, end of the month. Nitty gritty, man. The nitty gritty. Yeah. All right. Well, I wrote a fairly decent piece, I believe, this morning. Explaining the situation in Ukraine. Because I don't know if Donald Trump's military advisors are feeding him the correct information. He could be getting the globalist point of view there. You understand? And that's not the truth. So I want to make sure he fully understands what's going on there. All right, so I explained the situation in Ukraine, okay? Now, we got the new Asian Economic Coalition. Okay, this is the savior of the world, okay? This is the savior of the world. This is the savior of America and our economy. Okay? For the dollar to collapse and the Fed to be no more and OPEC to be no more would be the greatest thing in the world that could happen to us. All right. Now, on the surface, it appears as something that would be horrible. Okay. But no, it wouldn't be horrible. We might have a little tough time. But when the smoke clears, we'll be way better off. We'll be way better off because we'll no longer be slaves. You understand? Because the dollar will no longer be tied to basically to our souls and our fictitious strongman bonded titles, which you believe is your name. Won't be tied to that anymore, and we'll become sovereign citizens again. You understand? And America can spawn with its actual sovereignty, because whatever the Paris Accord or Brexit dictated will no longer become our concern. And well, that's not true because we have to respect the crown, of course. So whatever Queen Elizabeth dictates, we'll have to take that into consideration, because we don't want to turn our back on her. That'd be a big mistake. But she's a reasonable person now. Reportedly, she's under house arrest. So, like I said, the deer people have taken over a lot of control. That's why I'm letting the reptilians assume control, because the deer people have too much control. You understand? They control everything, and that's unacceptable. They dominated the matrix, and that's unacceptable because now we're really suffering because of their domination. You understand? And don't forget, there's good people, and there's probably a positive faction of deer people and a negative faction. So there's positive and negative factions of everything. So. Take that into consideration. Always got to give people a chance. Now, talk about giving people a chance. All right. Remember what I said. I'm more for transformation than destruction and corruption. You understand? The person that is engaged in doing the most horrible shit is the same person that has the most power to do something about it. Okay. All right. Now, well, look, we got France, we got Sweden, we got Spain, we got Hamburg, we got Italy, Greece. Okay, all these countries are just dying to stand on their own. Okay, even Merkel's had a change of heart, I believe, which is an absolute miracle. I never thought I'd see that, but I believe she's even had a change of heart. because now they see that their country is being destroyed, and maybe they didn't believe that there'd be so much suffering to the population to allow it to be consumed by the UN, but now they see that this agenda has been blown wide open, and now all the people see the truth that their government is all being lorded over by these dirtbags. You understand? All right, so now I believe that we should face up to the fact that we should set a date for controlled collapse of the dollar and the Fed. You should set a date and say, well, at this date, there's going to be no more dollar, there's going to be no more Fed, and we're going to temporarily switch to the yen until we can create our own currency and get back on our feet. That's my idea. For us to turn our back on China would be the biggest mistake in the world, because they've been loyal to us and they bought all our junk bonds all these years. And without China, America would have went down the tubes years ago. So anybody who turns their back on China is a complete fool. I understand? All right, so now all we have to do is work with Russia and work with China, and we'll be all right. Okay, we'll be all right. Let's set a controlled collapse for the dollar and a controlled collapse for the Fed. Now, the controlled collapse it's going to collapse anyway. It's inevitable. The whole stock market, everything was set up to fail from day one. They just set it up so that nobody would figure this out. The algorithm is so complicated and so it's very complicated. You have to be a master economic. You have to be a master to decipher it. You understand? But I was no master, but I saw years. I said this years ago. As soon as I started my testimony, I said that the stock market was created to fail from day one. And democracy has become globalism. So democracy is not. Democracy has always been backdoor socialism. So, all right. So now we got all these countries that are trying to do the right thing. Germany's trying to do the right thing now. Sweden's trying to do the right thing. France is trying to do the right thing. All these, Italy, Greece, okay, these countries need our support, okay? We can't rely on Germany and, can't rely on Russia and China to do everything, okay? We're gonna need China and Russia on our side to help us through our tough times that are ahead, If that's not the case, then yeah, we're gonna suffer. And who knows what's gonna happen. You're gonna have all kinds of factions vying for power, and it basically be like going to a block and the street gang that controls all the drugs and everything and keeps the law and order in the street. That's like taking all those that gang off the block, and then you're gonna have the Bloods and the Crips and this guy, gang and that gang all vying for the territory to sell drugs or whatever. You understand? So that's what it would be. If we don't work with China and Russia, that's what's gonna happen. Okay. So now. Okay, obviously we have to run through the military and any globalist traitors that are contributing to the globalist agenda and this nightmare over in Ukraine and all this other nonsense. Those people need to be removed from the military, okay? They need to be removed. All right. Now, if we can establish military supervised military generals that are patriots, that are for America, that are for sovereignty, that are not for selling us down the river to the UN. All right. If we can establish the structure, then what I believe we need to do is we need to send forces to France. We need to send forces to Germany, with their blessing, of course, with their blessing, and we'll get their blessing because they need our help. Okay, we need to send forces to France, forces to Germany, forces to Greece, forces to Italy, forces to Sweden. Any country that wants to step away from the UN, we need to support those countries. Okay, they need our help. Okay, we can't rely on Russia and China to do everything. That's unrealistic. Okay, it's unrealistic. It's not fair. All right. So I believe that's a worthy investment for American taxpayer. That's a worthy investment for world peace. All the way around, it's a worthy investment. All right. We have to all stick together, you know, in order for us to come out of this nightmare and this globalist corruption that has infested everything. We have to stick together and we have to stand together, you know. You want world peace? Well, this is how it's got to be done, you know. These people that just want war after war after war, like John McCain, that's no good. We'll never have world peace because all he wants is war, war, war. Because all his buddies make all the tanks and the bullets and everything, so they make money off war. You understand? So they want war. That's why they want war, because they make money off of it. They don't care how many of your sons and daughters die. They don't care because they're making money. It's all about money to these people. They worship money. That's it. All right, so now, this is what I see. You know, the Asian economic, new Asian economic coalition. I said years ago, at the beginning of my testimony, I said the yen is going to become the premier currency, and it's happening right before our eyes. Okay. We know the dollar and the dollar is going to collapse, and the Fed, stock market was set up to collapse from day one, and the Fed needs to go bye-bye because they're the ones that are responsible for enslavement, and they're the ones that have nothing to do with the government, just a band of criminal hoodlums, really what it is. All right, so we need to establish a controlled collapse, a controlled switch to the yen temporarily. Now, the deal we make with China, we say, okay, we want a good rate on the yen. We're willing to switch to the yen with an option to that they know right from the get-go that we're going to try to establish our own currency, and all the other countries should have the option to establish their own currency as well. But still, if it's done carefully and meticulously, China will still come out, will still do just fine, you know. And China, those people, Chinese people, are reasonable, logical people, and they're not warmongering lunatics. Okay, so we couldn't have a better ally in the world than China and Russia. You know, I mean, they're just the greatest people in the world. You know, just think about everybody. How much has NATO prodded and poked Russia and provoked them? I could sit here and list so many instances of provocation. They've been trying to force Putin to, you know, they want war with Russia so bad. You know, they just anything they can do. You know, all right. Now, if it wasn't for Putin being such a level-headed and great leader, the whole world might have been destroyed by nuclear weapons by now. You know, we could have had a huge giant nuclear war and whatever, you know. But don't forget, you can't, the big nuclear weapons, the magnetosphere has to be a certain, they can't just shoot off nuclear weapons at any time they want. Okay, a lot of people don't know this, but it has to do with the magnetosphere to get the ultimate power from the, not explosion, but the fission, whatever, okay? Doesn't matter. All right, so now, yes, there's observer races that claim that they're not going to allow any country to shoot off nuclear weapons. Now, the problem is that Russia has so many nuclear missiles and China has so many nuclear missiles and we have so many nuclear missiles that I don't believe there's any way, even if they did their best, that they could stop them all. You understand? And the smaller nuclear weapons, yeah, you can use them. You know, you don't have to wait for the magnetosphere to be in a certain way. You know, you could still use them. So there's so many that if they came down, if there was a war that was instigated, that and everybody, and then don't forget that Russia has a dead man system. So Russia doesn't have the option to shoot off a missile here and there. Once they press the button, all the missiles go off. You know, you're talking thousands of nuclear missiles are going to be shot off, and after that, that's it. It's over. Everybody on Earth is going to die, you know? Or in the Matrix, because really no such thing as Earth. So they don't have the option. It's a dead man system. Even if someone shot nuclear weapons over to Russia and it landed directly over the bunker where the nuclear missiles are, the missiles are still going to go off. Even if everybody in Russia is killed, all the missiles will still go off. That's just how their system is. That's why nobody has attacked Russia so far, because they know this. You understand? All right. So this is my plan. I believe it's a worthy investment for the American taxpayer to allow some of their tax money to be put towards military ventures to support France and Germany and Spain and Greece and Italy. Okay, these countries are suffering, and France is a key element because they hold veto power. So until the UN is totally disbanded, well, we're doing good already, because they just passed a law that we're going to leave the UN and that they're going to throw the UN out of New York City. So, I mean, we're doing good there. So that was some of the great, best news I have heard in a long time, So I believe it's a worthy venture. Now, but there has to be the military operations have to be supervised by American military that is in support of sovereignty, is in support of America, and is in support of the Asian Economic Coalition, and that is sympathetic to China and Russia. Because if not, and they're just more globalist minions, like they got over, banding together with Canadian globalist minions, like what's going on in Ukraine, then that's going to defeat the whole purpose. You understand? But like I said, we gotta stick together. The corruption runs deeper than deep, and for us to come out of it, okay, we're gonna have to stick together. All these countries are gonna have to stick together. Like I said, all these countries were bullied into the UN and EU by trade sanctions and embargoes, or straight up invasion, destruction, and consummation. Okay, so most of these countries, they want to leave. But of course they're held stranglehold by this economic, by this or that. The UN and EU has established all sorts of safeguards for them to hold on to power. You understand? So in order for these countries to escape all these safeguards and and stand on their own, then we all need to stick together, man. We need to stick together. We need to support these countries. And if it's true that Merkel's had a change of heart, and I'm pleased. I'm really ecstatic about that, because, well, don't forget, what happened was basically they probably brainwashed these. Well, first they bullied them into it, right? And then they gave them they got some benefits out of it. So temporarily they glorified in this world coalition of dirtbags, the benefits they received. Now that all their countries have been invaded by cultureless hordes of migrants, to destabilize it and so it can be totally consumed by the UN, they realize that it's a big mistake, and that now the whole country's suffering, and now their whole population fucking hates them because they understand the truth. You understand? And they know that if things don't change soon, that there's going to be a massive revolution in all these countries, and all these leaders will be hung by their necks. They're all going to be killed and dragged through the street. There'll be massive revolutions in all these countries. It's only a matter of time, before the people get totally sick of it. Now, so we send forces to these countries now. They go around, they gather up all the migrant people. You put them in camps. Sorry, China, but I'm going to refer to you in this instance. Like we did to China during World War II. Okay, that's what needs to happen to these people. They all need to be put in camps. Now, the people are just pawns in the game. Don't forget, we went over there. We blew their country into oblivion. They had no choice left to survive except to become paid protesters and get paid by the globalist people to destabilize the countries. So that's why these people, the poor Somalian people, tried to cross huge oceans so they could survive and get this money. It says as soon as they make it there, they're going to be all right. They're going to have a way to survive. Okay, so now we put the people in camps, but treat them humanely, because just remember, they're just pawns in the game. Okay, they're just pawns in the game. All right. We put them in this. The globalist people put those people in that situation. All the suffering, all those poor Somali people that drowned on the way over here, and all these other the hardships these immigrants, migrants went through to cross all these countries and all this shit. That's all the globalist fault. They caused all this pain and all this suffering. All right. So the people are protesting and raising all kinds of hell because that's their job. That's how they get paid. So that's how they survive. So unless we offer them some solution and some, support so they can survive and not have to do this, then it's going to continue to the bitter end. Do you understand? All right, now. Okay, now. Any true Muslim cleric present? Many of them are now aware of me. Okay, they're aware of me. So the true Muslim cleric, Islamic clerics, are aware of me. Now, Islam is not, it's been disgraced, by these globalist people promoting this radical nonsense that they just pick parts out of the Quran to serve their interests, because the Quran was plagiarized, just like every single book has been plagiarized. So now they're doing the same thing. Every period of time, people go and they plagiarize the books and they pick out parts to serve their agenda and all this shit. So that's what's happening now. Okay. Same thing back in the day when we had to defend Europe from the culturalist hordes. The same thing happening now. All these migrants are the culturalist hordes of then. Okay. So history repeats itself. We know that. All right. So now we get the people. We put them in camps. We treat them humanely. We feed them. Find some way to feed them. Now we provide them with some righteous Islamic and Muslim mentoring and righteous teaching. And they're going to go, the people are not stupid. They can go through the Quran and figure out what's the plagiarism and what's not. Okay. If I can do it, they can do it. Okay. All right. So then they're going to straighten these people out. All right. If we don't offer these migrant people some solution, way to survive, then the only way they have to survive is to be a paid protester. You understand? So, let's face up to the truth. I mean, the truth of things, everybody. You can't just close your eyes and say, no, the dollar's never going to collapse and we're going to be ruled by the Fed forever and that's it. No. Face up to the fucking truth. I mean, what the fuck? The dollar is made from human flesh. It's got human hair in it. It's covered with Kabbalah magic symbols to enchant every single person that touches it. Okay, it's tied to oil. What's oil? Oil is the virus. Where's the virus reside? In the oil. So the dollar is made from human flesh. It's got human hair in it. It's got covered in magic, Kabbalah, Jesuit, whatever crap all over it to enchant you. It's tied to the oil, which is the virus. And what else? It's tied. Now, who runs the oil? The Saudi coalitions. These are the major supporters of terrorist proxy groups all over the world. So these are the worst people you could ever imagine, Saudi Arabia, puppet state of America. Israel, puppet state of America. They just created these places so they could establish military strongholds and to kill as many Gentiles as they possibly can, Now, Israel is the Bolshevik. All those people in Israel, they're Hebrew people and they're Khazar Bolshevik people. Go to Israel. What language do you think they speak there? Russian, because they're all Bolsheviks. You don't believe me? Go there and find out. They'll speak Russian. Those people in Israel were the same people that slaughtered millions and millions of Russian people in the past. And communism did not come from Russia. Communism was brought to Russia by the Bolshevik people. The Jews brought communism to Russia. Well, what you believe is Jew. There's really no such thing as a Jew. It's only Khazar Bolsheviks in Hebrew. Jew is just a word they made up, just a bunch of garbage. Okay, so they brought it there. They created the Soviet Union to facilitate their fucking globalist domination. And then when they are done, what do? Then dissolved. And then Russia became Russia again. And then, of course, they try to claim that, well, Crimea was given to those people by Soviet Union. So Crimea was a part of Russia. So it is still a part of Russia. It's just, that's just an illusion, you know. That's why the Russian base is there, because it is part of Russia, just called Crimea, you know. So if you're a Saudi person, you watch this, or you're Netanyahu and you watch it, you probably don't watch it because you probably fucking hate my guts. But if you do watch it, Netanyahu, why don't you sit back and think for a second? Look around. Well, I'm Netanyahu. Well, the UN, the EU, and NATO is collapsing. All their whole agenda has been blown wide open. Donald Trump has drawn the line and drained the swamp. And it's not going to be long before we are left for dead. Okay. Israel, you're going to be left for dead. Just like every other proxy group that's been created by these scumbags. And every other country has been left for dead. Okay. So Israel, you're going to be left for dead. Saudi Arabia, you're going to be left for dead because OPEC's going to be no longer, because there's no way that you're going to keep control of that pipeline. Okay. It's not going to happen. So forget it. The dollar's going to collapse. Fed's going to collapse. And OPEC, you next. You out of there. You all done. Plus the whole world sees you're the biggest proliferators of terrorism. So now the whole world basically fucking hates you. Basically. Now, let me say again, all the Islamic devotees and Muslim devotees and all that are in Saudi Arabia, I'm not upset with you, and I'm going to do everything I can to help you, okay? It's not you I'm upset with. It's the ruling class, okay? All right? So just get that right. And I'm very concerned for you. The people in Saudi Arabia, I'm very concerned for you, okay? All right. You're on one of my major concerns, all right? So don't forget. You know. All right, so... Okay, Netanyahu, you're going to be left for dead. You see what's going on. You're going to be left for dead. Now, Netanyahu, you got tons of fucking planes and all kinds of great military shit. You basically live in a paradise over there. It's like a fucking giant resort. I've seen how you guys live. You live great. And, of course, you fucking treat the Palestinians like garbage because they're Gentiles and you hate Gentiles. So that's why you treat them that way. All right, so... my idea was to take the Palestinians and bring them to Iran. I want the Palestinians to go to Iran, and then you could have your paradise over there in this godforsaken desert, all you want, you know, because it's full of bad memories, and I believe it's the best thing for the Palestinians to leave there. You know, it's safer, it's better. They go, if you could get them, we could get them to Iran. They'll be happy there, and Iran will take good care of them. I'm quite sure. All right, so you guys, you know, Saudi Arabia ruling class and Netanyahu. You know, you foresee that you're going to be left for dead. Go back in history and look at the track record of these dirtbags. And what do? They leave everybody for dead. What do? Leave ISIS for dead. ISIS for dead. ISIS is getting blown away right now. Russia's got so many weapons and missiles and everything in Syria. The ISIS people are probably shitting their fucking pants. I mean, all their tunnels are getting... These ISIS has been living in tunnels for years over there. Living in tunnels, they're scared to come out. The tunnels go from one end of the street to the other. They don't even come out. They come out, they're so terrified. You know. So ISIS, you're done. You're all done. And then as soon as Russia gets rid of ISIS from Syria, then what's going to happen? Well, all that equipment's going to go to Ukraine, and then they're going to throw all the dirtbags out of there too. NATO and Canada dirtbags. They're going to throw you out of there, and you'll be history. So everybody should, you know, think about what I said. All right? I'm going to let you go. I'm going to make some... I got some pasta salad. I got a can of chicken and pepperoni I'm going to put in there. Make some cold pasta salad with chicken and pepperoni. Of course, I'm in a lot of pain, so it's hard for me to do much. You know. All right, everybody. See you later. Salad, everybody. Salad.